Looking at our world from a theological perspective. This is the Theology Central Podcast, making theology central.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is Wednesday, August the 16th, 2023. It is currently 2:39 p.m. Central Time, and I'm coming to you live from the Theology Central studio located right here in Abilene, Texas. I have walked up the stairs, sat down behind this microphone to share some breaking news with you, and I think it's very important. About 45 minutes ago, maybe not quite that long. Well, I think 45 minutes ago is when the original post was made, and then a specific social media platform then sent out a notification to all of its users saying, hey, this is going on. And immediately I looked at it and was like, whoa, I've got to get behind the microphone and we've got to talk about this because this is a big deal. Are you ready? I'm going to read the post. All right, here it is. 45 minutes ago, Glenn Beck posted the following on Truth Social. All right. I don't know if he posted it on any other social media platforms, but on Truth Social, Glenn Beck, he posted, and this is what he posted. Are you ready? Here we go. This is Glenn Beck. If you don't know anything about Glenn Beck, he's a conservative radio talk show host, right? Very, very, very well known, has Blaze TV. He's been on the radio forever. And I mean, if you ever listen to Glenn Beck, now, do I agree with everything Glenn Beck says? Absolutely not. He holds to Mormonism. I think Mormonism is a false religion. I do not believe it's Christianity. He is super, super ultra conservative in his political stance. In fact, he's way more political than I would be. In fact, he kind of merges his politics with his religion. And of course, I reject all of that. So I disagree with Glenn Beck all the time. But I strongly disagree, I feel, with what has just happened. And we're going to talk about all of the implications of this. Are you ready? Here's breaking news. Again, about 45 minutes ago. It could be posted all over the place, but the first place I saw it was on Truth Social. Here we go. You ready? This is from Glenn Beck. I quote, Apple removed all of my podcast from iTunes today. Now, I don't really know why he's calling it iTunes. That's a little dated reference. I think he means Apple removed all of my podcasts from the Apple podcasting app. All right. I wonder if today's show exposing the real crime family had something to do with it. Thank goodness it's still available on Blaze TV. Now, I don't know everything that's happened here, right? Because that's not giving me a lot of information. Immediately when I saw this, I started looking, trying to find news, and I wasn't finding anything at the moment. But we're going to take this at face value right now. I did do this. I opened my Apple podcasting app because I subscribe to the Glenn Beck podcast. I subscribe to his program. I subscribe to hundreds of programs I don't necessarily agree with. I subscribe to, thousands of podcasts I subscribe to. It's insane how many I subscribe to. So I don't always agree with him. But if Apple removed him from the Apple podcasting app, I cannot speak for Glenn Beck, but that's pretty significant. In fact, so here's what happened. I opened the Apple podcasting app. I went to search and I typed in Glenn Beck, the Glenn Beck program. And lo and behold, there's nothing there. I'm like, well, where's the Glenn Beck program? It's gone. So that seems to confirm it has been removed. I went to my library. Okay, it's loading. I went to my library on the Apple podcasting app, and there's the Glenn Beck show. But guess what? All the artwork is gone. And when I click on it, every episode has been wiped out of my library. Every episode of the Glenn Beck program is gone. He has been removed. He's been deplatformed from Apple Podcast. Now, I don't know if there was a building controversy going on. I don't know, but they were just like, you're gone. You're gone. Now, listen to me. I'm very aware that Apple, they can have their rules and saying if you're going to post things on our platform, it must meet those rules. It's their platform. They don't even charge you a dime to be on their platform. So clearly they can remove you. I very much respect the rights of a company to say, hey, we can have this or we can't. I understand that. But here's the thing. What rules did he violate? Were those rules clearly violated? Was he giving a warning? Now, I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and try to find out what was going on. I don't know when this occurred. I just have stumbled upon this information. I just got the notification. And when I got the notification, I went and looked, found Glenn Beck's post on Truth Social and said, okay, this is what he's saying. Then I went immediately to the Apple podcasting app and it's gone. I haven't checked any other podcasting apps. I don't know if Google, Spotify, or are the others going to remove him. But it's a significant deal because if they can just, boom, you're gone, and they don't even have to articulate what you did, well, then that's a problem. Is there a way for him to fight this? Can he offer any kind of rebuttal? Can he make an appeal or anything? I know for me, right? I'm a nobody. I'm an insignificant nobody. All right. And we have constant problems with YouTube. YouTube will remove, I did a podcast episode years ago about the Edify Christian Podcast app. It's literally called the Edify Christian Podcast app. They removed it in the last, week, 2 weeks? They just randomly said, nope, it violates community standards. What community standard? It contains medical misinformation. Medical misinformation, it's about a Christian podcasting app. So I appealed. Within minutes, they said, sorry, we reviewed it. It violates it. There's nothing you can do. Now, of course, if you get 3 of those within a certain period of time, you're banned. So I've come so close to being banned on YouTube multiple times now, multiple times. And every single time they've told me I violated a certain rule. I did not violate the rule, didn't even come close to violating the rule. And every time I appeal, they say no. Even though there is literally nothing in the episodes they have removed that violates anything. But hey, I'm a nobody. Glenn Beck is a somebody. So he has a far greater chance of kicking up enough dirt that maybe Apple will reconsider. But he is gone. He is gone. Because I subscribe to the Glenn Beck program. It's gone. It's gone. There's nothing there. I'm looking at it right now. If I was on video, I would show you. It's just gone. Now, whether I agree with his politics or whether I disagree with his politics, whether I agree with his religion or disagree with his religion, I want him to have the freedom to express it, whether I like it or dislike it. Why? Because when his freedoms get taken away, my freedoms. Now, I know some of you are going to say it's a private company. Apple can do whatever they want. They can. But I want to know, what did he do wrong? What did Glenn Beck do wrong? Because whatever he did, well, could I violate the same policy? Now, I don't know how much it impacts Glenn Beck. I don't know how much it impacts him. I know for him, it may actually help him because he wants people to get his subscription at Blaze TV. That's what he wants. I mean, I understand he's trying to make a business. He's trying to make money. So I understand it could be beneficial to him. But let me show you how much it would wipe me out. Let me see. I'm going under my account. Let's see here. I'm going to go to see more. I'm just going to go 12 months. I'm going to go 12 months. I'm going to go to sources. Right. Okay. So if Apple Podcast was to remove me today, they are the number one podcasting app that people listen to me on. Number one. You would be wiping out well over 100,000 downloads and streams for me. It would completely wipe me out. If Apple Podcast was to delete me today, From a practical standpoint, there would be no point even trying. Now, I don't know how many of those people would immediately go, well, if he's not on Apple, I'm going to go find him on a different platform. You would hope they would. But if they don't, then you're wiping out. I mean, again, it's nowhere. No one's even close. 60%. This is the number. 60% of all of my streams and downloads come from Apple podcasting app. 60%. 60%. You can combine almost all the others and they don't even come close. They don't even come close. Google Podcast only makes up 1%. iCatcher, 1%. Pocket Cast, 1%. CastBox, 1%. Stitcher, 1%. Hey, if you're listening to me on Stitcher, hey guys, you gotta leave Stitcher. It's closing down any day now. You gotta find another podcasting app. Podorama, 1%. Podbean, 2%. Spotify, 3%. Podcast Addict, 3%. VLC, don't know what that is, 5%. Pandora, 5%. Spreaker, our very own podcast hosting site, only makes up for 13%. You almost can combine all of that together. Apple wins. If Apple was to get rid of me, it would be nothing left. I would be finished. And none of those numbers, call into account for Sermons 2.0 Church 1. But Glenn Beck has been removed. He's been deplatformed. He's been banned from Apple. And I don't know the beginnings of this fight. I don't know how long there's been issues. I don't know if everyone knew it was coming. I haven't listened to the Glenn Beck program in a while. I subscribe to it, but I subscribe to thousands of podcasts. There's no way to listen to everything. I've been watching what's going on with Alex Jones and Steven Crowder, and they're forming, and I've been watching that development, but all of a sudden Glenn Beck is gone. Deplatformed, removed. Now, you may not think it's a big deal, but I think it's a big deal. I do. Just my own personal feelings, because when the big people can be just dropped like that, boom, they're just gone. Man, I know I'm just hanging by a thread. I guess in some ways it's better to be small because that they're not paying it. You think Apple even cares that I exist? I don't even, and I don't even monetize my podcast. So you know what? There's one good thing is mine is not monetized. So that's a good thing. So, I can't, what are you going to do? But they didn't just demonetize. They deplatformed. He's been removed. Gone. Now I wonder. Now, here's what I'm thinking could come next. I'm going to go to the Apple app. I'm going to go to the Apple App Store really quick. I'm going to go to the Apple App Store. You know what could come next? You know what could come next, ladies and gentlemen? Blaze TV. All right, the Blaze TV app is still in the Apple App Store. If they banned him from their podcasting app, when do they pull the Blaze TV app from the App Store? That's what if I was Glenn Beck, that's what I would be scared to death about today. I'd be sitting there going, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. If they because hey, if all the app stores remove Blaze TV, can you still access it? I am not a fan of this. So if you just tuned in, breaking news, Glenn Beck has been removed from the Apple podcasting app. For some reason, he's reporting it as being removed from iTunes. I don't know who used iTunes in 2023. I don't know why you would even state it that way. It's 2023. You use the Apple podcasting app. Maybe you're using iTunes. I don't even know what you use it for anymore, right? But it's the Apple podcasting app. He is gone, and I subscribe to him. So his podcast was saved in my library. They're all gone, removed. Every single episode gone. The artwork itself, all of it's just gone. Glenn Beck has been removed from the Apple podcasting app. Currently, Blaze TV is still in the Apple App Store, but I don't know how you could do that, right? If you're going to remove the podcast from your platform, why wouldn't you remove Blaze TV, where those same programs, that same message is going to be right there, maybe even added to it? Now, Sermon Audio, right? Sermon Audio, who has the Sermons 2.0 app, they're the ones who build the Church 1 app that we use. They're doing the thing called the Vault, where they're trying to have a secure location where all these sermons can be preserved and there's no being deplatformed. But I wonder if Sermon Audio has a backup plan, because what if they pulled your apps from the App Store? What if they removed because that's the only thing I don't like about some of this, right? It's one thing to say, well, the company can do whatever they want. I understand that. But when they are kind of the monopoly, right? Then what happens? Like if you remove an app from the Apple App Store, what happens? If you remove an app from the Google Play Store, what happens? Now, so far, Blaze TV has not been removed from the App Store, so don't misquote me. Don't get it wrong. I'm just saying I would think that's next. Because that's how it happened with Alex Jones. I mean, they pulled the podcast, boom. They pulled the InfoWars app, boom, gone. It was instantaneously gone. I mean, everywhere. And it was Spotify, Apple, Google. I mean, he got pulled from everywhere. Now, there's still some podcasting apps out there that you can get the Alex Jones podcast, right? So you can still do so. So I wonder, that's great that Sermon Audio is going to preserve all of the sermons in a vault, but do they may have a backup plan if the apps were to be removed. If the apps were to be removed, what would they do? Now, I don't agree with everything Glenn Beck has to say, but man, I will sure defend his right to say it. Now, I know Apple, they can make their own decision. It's just, like when you control everything, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that fine balance there. I don't know how to process it. But it scares me to death, right? Because I've been there. Like I've never been deplatformed online, but I got kicked off Christian radio. Okay. And I didn't violate one rule. You know what their rule was when I got on Christian radio? Okay. Here's the deal. You give us, I don't remember what it was per month. We'll put a radio program on. You get 30 minutes Sunday morning at whatever time. Okay. All right. And I'm like, okay, now can I just post sermons or can I do whatever? No, you're free to go. All right. No rules. No rules. Okay, here's the check. They took the check. Boom. Now, the first time they got mad at me, and you can go back and figure out the date. You remember the Janet Jackson scandal at the Super Bowl? Well, right before that morning, I had gone off on churches canceling services for the Super Bowl and churches showing the Super Bowl inside the sanctuary. I mean, I went out and they were not happy, right? They were not happy. So I thought I was going to have a problem. And then that night, Janet Jackson reveals herself to the world, or Justin reveals her to the world. However that whole thing went down, the famous wardrobe malfunction. And guess what? They kind of just left me alone and didn't say much. I mean, what could they say? How dare you? I'm like, yeah, maybe churches shouldn't be. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe church should be church. And then I had one more criticism of churches, on Resurrection Sunday, turning it into Easter eggs and Easter egg hunts and bunnies and new dresses and everything other than the resurrection of Christ. And in the middle of my program, I was booted off the air and I was never given a chance. I was never given a warning. And I, to this day, was never told what rule I violated. So I've been there. I've been booted. Now, that's just from one Christian radio station. All right, whatever. But Glenn Beck today has just been removed from the Apple podcasting app. That would be the end to me. That's 60% of all my downloads and streams would be gone instantaneously. Sermons 2.0, Church 1, that doesn't even come within close to what the Apple podcasting numbers are well over 100,000. Well over 100,000. I don't even know what it is. I mean, it's something crazy. Like the Sermons 2.0, I'm nowhere like it wouldn't even make 1%. It wouldn't even make 001. It wouldn't make anything. It wouldn't even show up anywhere. I mean, I'm an insignificant person on that platform, and that's perfectly okay. But I know that even on Sermon Audio, they have their own rules. I mean, they could remove me whenever they want as well. I mean, you're really at the mercy of everyone. That's kind of the dangerous thing on being a broadcaster is you're really at the mercy of everyone. And that's, I'm okay with that. At least, here's the good thing about Sermon Audio. They give you, here's what all of your messages must conform to this statement of faith. And if there was ever a time I was getting ready to post something and I'm like, I don't think it fits there, I would just not post it on those platforms. They give me very specific rules, but most of the podcasting apps you're on, in fact, they just kind of grab your content with your RSS feed. You don't even really have a say on whether you're on there or not. Now with Apple, you do have to submit it. But I think when I submit it, I don't even know if they give me rules. Maybe there's some rules that I'm clicking through that I'm not paying attention to, some user agreement that probably I didn't pay attention to. But I can't tell you the rules are clearly articulated. Now, if Glenn Beck violated the rules, just absolutely, Apple's like, hey, we've given you 3 warnings, and Glenn Beck was like, sorry, I'm going to do what I want to do. Well, then, okay. You know what? Then I will have to be on Apple's side because it's their platform. And what he could do is he could say, okay, thank you for telling me we're going to remove these 3 episodes. But then how hypocritical is that? Is then if someone can go to the Apple App Store, download Blaze TV, and then hear the episodes, right? Like, that just seems like a wasted, like, what are you doing? But if Apple warned, he did not heed the warning, then okay. But let me read you the breaking development. Let me go to it really quick here. I got to find it. Okay, I got to find it. Hang on. It's all disappeared. I have to look for him. There he is. Okay, I have to look for him. All right. He has not updated. It's now been an hour. And the entire post simply reads, Apple removed all of my podcasts from iTunes today. I still don't know why it says iTunes. Come on, someone edit it. All right. I wonder if today's show exposing the Real Crime Family had something to do with it. Thank goodness it's still available on Blaze TV. Now, of course, he's smart because he immediately tells people, go to Blaze TV, get a subscription, and you can see it. You can hear it. Now, of course, to be fair, well, you know what? Let's do this. You want to do this? Let's do a search really quick. Let's just see if he shows up if he's been removed from any other podcasting apps, because I've got plenty of podcasting apps here. All right, I'm going to go to iCatcher. All right, do I have a search? I'm going to do a search. The Glenn Beck program. I think it's all there. I just did a refresh. That's today's episode. Yeah, okay, here's the episode that got him banned.
I want to talk to you a little bit about Mantis X. Mantis X was dry firing just yesterday. It is...
Okay, there's Glenn Beck. Okay, that's the program that supposedly got him banned today. All right, so it's on iCatcher. All right, so far, as of now, is it on Pocket Cast? Okay, I'm going to Pocket Cast. I'm going to do a search. Glenn. Oh, wait, if I could spell Glenn Beck. Oh, wait. Today's episode is not there. Did they just remove an episode? Hang on, do it a refresh. Nope, it's still there. Hang on. Is it going to play?
I want to talk to you a little bit about Mantis.
Okay, it's there. Okay, so he's on Pocket Cast, the podcast app. Let me see here. Do a search. Do Glenn Beck. There it is. It's today's program. Yep, it's there. Okay, it's there. So it looks like on most of the podcasting apps. Okay, someone said, let's review what got him taken down and see what was worthy. Now, for those who don't know, okay, that's a good point. I have no desire to review it because it's straight political, but here was the name of the episode: Trump versus Biden. Which is the crime family? Glenn dives through some of the insane accusations in Donald Trump's 4th indictment, which, if prosecuted, will set dangerous precedents for free speech. Glenn also compares the indictment to the evidence revealed regarding Hunter Biden and President Biden. Who is the real crime family? Now, that gets all into the politics, and of course he's going to make excuses for all of Trump's behavior because, Trump could, do anything and people wouldn't care. So I have no desire to review that. But I mean, everyone go listen to it though. Look if you're using an Apple Podcast app, you're going to have to go somewhere else, but everyone else go everywhere else. Look up Glenn Beck program, look for the episode today, and you listen to it and you see if he says something. If you think he says something like this is what got him removed, then give me the timestamp and then maybe we will review it. I just don't want to get into all the politics of Trump and Biden. And then this turns into a political war. To me, whatever he said, unless Apple gave him a clear warning, that would be my problem. But to just why don't you just remove the one episode? Like if Apple was opposed to that one episode, just remove the episode. Now, there may be more to this story, right? That's why we have to wait and see. But I'm glad someone at least brought it up. Yeah, please listen to the episode today. It's called Trump versus Biden, which is the real crime family. I'm assuming we're going to get more information. I'm assuming this is going to start showing up on some of the news sites. I think. Hang on, I'm going to look really quick. I'm looking here. Okay. No, right now I'm finding out that Barbie has beat The Dark Knight to become Warner Brothers' biggest ever movie. Okay. So I don't know if you are interested in that. Let's do this. I'm going to just do a search for Glenn Beck. And let's go to news. Okay. Oh, here we go. Now we're getting some more information. Okay. This is 28 minutes ago. See this is breaking news right here on the Theology Central podcast. All right. Okay. Here we go. Glenn Beck says his entire show's been removed from Apple Podcast Network. Now, see, this is what disturbs me. Without explanation. That right there is concerning. Okay. Hang on. Let me see if I can read this here. Commentator Glenn Beck's entire show was removed from Apple's podcast network on Wednesday, allegedly without warning or explanation. Now, I do agree that it's allegedly. Now, he has obviously posted something on X because they have it embedded. You see here if we can listen to this. Can we hear this? Okay, I'm going to have to play this on my iPad, so I don't know if we're going to be able to hear this. Hang on. Maybe it's not even going to work.
Here in my office, and we're just sitting here in my office, and we're discussing something that we just saw here. This is from Apple. We found an issue with your show, the Glenn Beck program, which must be resolved before it's available on Apple Podcast. Your show's been removed from Apple Podcast from the Apple Podcast team. They sent us a link and said for more details, go to the link, and the link only says your show has been removed from Apple Podcasts. Well, we got that one, dummy. I mean, I cannot imagine what they're basing this one on. I mean, have we even had strikes? Nothing, right? This is crazy. You need to please retweet this and start a campaign to Apple to say, put the podcast back on. This is absolutely freedom of speech. There's nothing that we have said that would warrant any removal. Again, it's probably just a glitch, but it's amazing how we have to have a whole bunch of people point out the glitch before the glitch is found and it's put back. Man, this is huge. I'm getting ready to do the show or rehearse the show for tonight. Tonight's a really important. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're just smoked because I'm pointing out the real crime family tonight on Blaze TV. This is why it's so important to get Blaze TV, because we're not playing this game. We don't censor anybody. And out of all the shows, my show is the one to get nailed. Interesting. Well, join us at the Blaze, blazetv.com/Glenn. Are we doing the will not?
All right, so doing the Glenn Beck thing. Okay. Now, yeah, someone said, no strikes. I know that's what I'm saying. No strikes. Maybe he thinks maybe it is a glitch. I'm going to give Apple the benefit of the doubt temporarily, but I still don't understand. Like they didn't. And again, Glenn Beck keeps using wrong terminology. Like the original post said iTunes. It wasn't iTunes, Apple podcasting app. And there he says it removed the show he made it sound like they're just the show he did today. No, Glenn, if you don't realize it, they removed your entire podcast. Every show, every episode, the entire podcast is gone. They deleted you off the face of the earth. I can't go back and listen to anything you've ever done, at least on my podcasting app. Anybody else who has the Apple podcast app, check it for yourself. Go to a different podcast app and go listen to the show today that he did, and you can determine what you think. You may look and just remember, even if you disagree with everything he says, that doesn't mean it should be removed. And even if it should be removed, shouldn't it just be the episode? Again, I got no problem if you say, hey, that episode's got to go. So did he say he was doing the Real Crime Family tonight, as is he didn't do it or before it removed? Now he does. Okay, good question. So he does the podcast. That's on the radio, right? And then he does a TV show on Blaze TV. The TV show. So most likely on Blaze TV, there's an archive of the radio show, and then he'll do a TV presentation of it. There'll be video clips, whatever. And so he's probably going to do the same story about Trump and Biden and then do it on the television show tonight on Blaze TV. And of course, he's definitely going to do it again because, I mean, what would you do? I mean, what are you going to be talking about? Hey, I'm assuming he's going to come on the air tonight on Blaze TV and be like, hey, guys, what we're about to talk about, they don't want you to hear. I mean, all you're going to do is just drive people probably to Blaze TV. And guess how I get Blaze TV? I go to the Apple App Store, which is absolutely hilarious. I may have to download Blaze TV tonight, not because I necessarily want to support Glenn Beck, but I will support him in this because I don't like when this happens to people. I don't like when this happens to people. I don't, and I'm assuming his podcast is monetized. So how big does that hurt them? I don't know. I don't know how that works with, if your podcast is monetized through Apple. I don't know. But, yeah, Glenn Beck, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to look here. Just trying to look here. I'm looking wherever I can get access to things. All right, I'm going to look here. I don't think he's offered any more, updates on this platform. No more. Okay. And then I'm going to look, let me see here. I'm going to go back to the news. I'm going to go back to news, the news articles. All right. And see here. Yeah, there's a screenshot here. We found an issue with your program. He read this, the Glenn Beck program. We found an issue with your show, the Glenn Beck program, which must be resolved before it's available on Apple Podcasts. Your show has been removed, but they don't tell him how to resolve the issue. So to me, were they going after the whole show or going after the episode? As of 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, no search results appear for the Glenn Beck program when searched on Apple Podcast. So, and I'm going to do a refresh here. Yeah, there's only one news story really right now. Now, what's funny, to be fair, and see, this is where I'm going to point something out. I try to tell all sides of this. Hey, Glenn Beck, remember you were calling for a boycott for Target? You wanted everyone to boycott Target. See, why do everyone just leave everyone alone? And if you don't want something sold in Target, you just don't buy it. And if someone doesn't want to listen to your podcast, it's like, why the boycotting and the censoring and the banning? I hate it all. I want Target to have the freedom to sell whatever they want. And if I go into Target and I don't want to buy it, I will walk right on past it. And I'll go buy something else. Why am I going to try to put boy, why am I going to tell a store, you sell what I want? Well, guess what, Glenn? Apple just said, you will say what I want. I mean, come on now. I mean, you got to be fair with this stuff. Say, I hate all of it. The freedoms you deny others are freedoms you deny yourself. I want people to have freedom of speech, unless obviously they're promoting something illegal. I know there's I know there can be a limit to that. I do understand. I want the companies. It's their websites. It's their platforms. They built them so they can decide what they want. I just want their rules to be clearly outlined. They have a clear process. There's strikes. They tell you how to resolve it. And they actually are doing something based off their actual rules. YouTube, hey guys, you never get your rules right. You got rules. I've yet to violate one of your rules, and I can't even tell you how many episodes have been removed. So yeah, YouTube drives me crazy. But this is a pretty big story because once again, it just shows when one of these platforms decide they're done with you, you're gone. You're deleted. You're deleted. I'm telling you, you start getting removed. Like for me, if I got removed from Apple Podcast, would 60% of my audience follow me to a different podcasting platform? I don't know. I mean, nothing comes close. So I don't know, but that's the breaking news. So if you just tuned in, Glenn Beck's podcast has been completely, not an episode, the entire thing has been banned, has been removed, has been erased from the Apple podcasting app. Glenn Beck is trying to figure out what's going on. Maybe the only way to get an update is to watch Blaze TV tonight, which weirdly enough, the app is still available in the Apple App Store. There's gotta be, and if he comes on Blaze TV tonight and says whatever got him supposedly banned from the Apple podcasting app, why wouldn't they then get rid of the Blaze TV app? I don't know if he's drawn the correlation yet, but if I was him, I would be very concerned. I would be very, 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 very concerned because I don't know how people access Blaze TV, but for me, it would be on my Apple TV box, right? So if they remove it from the Apple App Store, I could not get it for the Apple TV. Or many people watch it on their mobile devices, phones and iPads. Well, if they removed it from the App Store, so then Glenn Beck would be completely cut off. Now, other than maybe the Google Play Store and other podcasting apps. But if Google decided to get rid of him, I mean, that's what happened to Alex Jones. Now, Glenn Beck would still have his radio program, like Alex Jones still has his radio program. But I'm telling you, in 2023, you need something more than radio. You're going to need to, how is people going to get to your content? So this is just kind of a breaking situation. Please give me your thoughts, your feedback. And, you can email me, newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com. And this is one of the reasons why I try to put my content everywhere. It is one of the reasons. Because if one goes down, I don't have to scramble. It's immediately available everywhere else. And it's one of the reasons that I am grateful for Sermon Audio, Sermons 2.0 app and the Church One app, because I mean, their rules are clear and I got no problem if they ever said, hey, we don't like that sermon. I got no problem deleting it because I want to maintain a good relationship with them, right? I always would like to maintain a good relationship with them because I feel like obviously I have a greater chance of survival on their platform than any of the other platforms. Now, so far I've never had any issue other than with YouTube. But you just never know. And if they got no warning, then who knows? I mean, I have an issue today. I could have an issue tomorrow. So if 60% of my audience was gone, I would hope, hey, guys, go download the Church One app. Now, that would immediately destroy me from being on the podcasting charts because the sermon audio numbers are not recorded to any of the podcasting platforms. Like they don't go there. So like those numbers don't count. So, but it would be, yeah, I don't know where it's all going to end up, but it's definitely something to watch. So breaking news, Glenn Beck has been removed from the Apple podcasting app. If you see that he's been removed from anywhere else, let me know. If you hear more, we will talk about this. I don't typically go straight, news. I try not to do that because see, now what happens is because I've done this, now I got to follow this story all the way to the end. So that means I may have to do multiple reports on it, but this deals with, speech being banned. This deals with things that are very much near and dear to me because I sit in front of a microphone and try to put my content everywhere. And I think it shows you why sermon audio doing the vault. If you haven't watched their videos about the vault and what they're trying to do, you may want to go into Sermons 2.0 app, type in the vault, or the Sermon Audio website, type in the vault. You should be able to find it. They promote and listen and watch what they're trying to do. Now, my question is, okay, guys, you preserve all the sermons. What happens if the app stores were like, we're removing all sermon audio apps? Then what happens? Because it wouldn't matter if I could broadcast on your platform if nobody can access the apps to listen to me. So hopefully they're developing a backup plan for that. All right. Thanks for listening. You can email me newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com. Sorry to interrupt your day, but I thought this was information that you may want to know, and hopefully it sparks some interesting conversations about platforms, speech, freedom of speech, access to content, and where you think things may be headed. Everyone have a great day. God bless.